Hello and welcome back to the Eagle-Gryphon Games vlog, and this week we'll have an interview of an artist who has worked on many Eagle-Gryphon games. Then we'll present a new release of the Heavy Cardboard and Detroit Bankruptcy expansion for Age of Steam Deluxe, and then we'll finish it off with a game giveaway. But first, let's tell you about our Kickstarter that launched today, with a quick game overview as well. The Kickstarter campaign for Mike Fitzgerald's Baseball Highlights the Dice game and Faux Diamonds launched today. We'll be offering all of the Mike Fitzgerald titles we've published as add-ons during the Pledge Manager, including Baseball Highlights, the Mystery Rummy series, and Wyatt Earp. In last week's vlog, I gave you a quick overview of Faux Diamonds, so now I'm going to give you a quick overview of Baseball Highlights the Dice game. Baseball Highlights the Dice game is a standalone roll and write game based off the hugely popular Baseball Highlights 2045, where 1 to 4 players are going to be playing simultaneously on their own park. Players will be hitting singles, doubles, triples, home runs, and having walks and stolen bases. Over multiple rounds, each player is going to have their own park, and they're going to be using those aspects to work down specific tracks in hopes to score the most runs in the end. Each round, each player gets a chance to be the active player, and you get to take all of the dice of one type and activate it that many times. So 3 triples, for example. So as we mark off these 3 triples, once we get to this one, this is a chained action, which now allows us to cross off 1 in the doubles action spot, which here actually gets us a double, which puts a runner right on second base. And if we use our last die for this turn and you see a star and you mark this off, you get to use this twice, double it. But if you don't end your dice on here, well, you don't get to use it at all. A little bit of pressure luck and setting yourself up for strategies for future rounds. Now that triple will score this runner, and the second triple will score this runner. And we now have 2 runs. And as the active player is doing that, all other players are simultaneously taking any 2 actions that have at least a die on it, but they don't take the dice off the board. And then we look at the pitcher die to see what happens to our runners. In this case, nothing. It was a good inning. But it might be bad like a triple play, removing up to 3 base runners on your bases. Or maybe a double play removing 2 runners, removing your furthest base runner. But it's not always bad. You might actually get a stolen base once in a while. And then the dice used by the active players rolled back onto the board along with the pitcher die for the next active player. As you move down these tracks, you might activate a clutch hit, which moves you down this track and can activate other things like singles, doubles, triples, and a lot of home runs if you go far enough. Or you might activate a power dice. And for each one of those you've unlocked, you get to roll one of the power dice while you're the active player to give yourself more options. But don't worry, none of the other players get to use it. And you'll play a certain amount of rounds depending on the amount of players, and the most runs wins. And there's also a solo variant where you can play against Hits Fits. Baseball Highlights the Dice game is for ages 8 and up, and it takes only 20 minutes to play. And since it just launched on Kickstarter today, you can click the link below to be brought directly to the project page. João Tereso has worked on many Eagle-Gryphon Games projects, such as Struggle of Empires Deluxe, Tom Lehman's The City, and Vital Lacerda's Railways of Portugal expansion to Railways of the World, along with the 2 upcoming expansions, Railways of Sweden and Railways of Australia. So let's welcome in João Tereso.
At the time I was doing graphic design for Eagle-Gryphon, and we were going to print The City, and we were looking for an artist to do the illustrations for the cards. So it was something I'd never done before, but I've always been a big fan of Tom Lehman, and I really wanted to jump in and participate as much as I could in that game. So I did a quick draft of one of the buildings that I knew was going to be in the game. It was going to be one of the cards, and I sent Eagle-Gryphon the drawing, which we ended up not using in the end, that particular one, but they said yes, let's do it. It was luck, just being in the right place at the right time. I had this idea of doing a dream city, or an impossible city, something that was in the past, in the present, and in the future, all at the same time. What I tried to do with the style was make it look like it belonged in the same place, like the buildings belonged in the same place through color. That was, I wanted to do this colorful landscape with some vivid, bright colors, and almost like a graphic diary of a tourist that is dreaming this city and painting it as he goes along. The challenge of working on something that was really complex for me at the time. I hadn't done anything at that scale with all the components and the huge map. Also, the chance of working on a Martin Wallace game, because I love some of Martin Wallace's games. I think Brass is one of the best board games of all time. You know, just having the opportunity to work on one of his games really meant a lot to me at that time. It was a very important accomplishment for me. Sci-fi is something I would really like to do. And as silly as this may sound, I would really like to illustrate abstract games, or to help design abstract games. Sometimes there's no illustrations in these games, but there's graphic design and there's component design. So yeah, that's something I'd like to work on, to get to work on an abstract game. Well, obviously Michael Menzel. I guess I would highlight Portobello Market's board. That illustration of the board is something that's always in my mind as kind of a reference of how a modern board should look like. Wouldn't know their names, but I can talk about games I like. I really like this old game. It's 20 years old, I think, at least 20 years old. It's called San Marco, and it has the most beautiful board illustration. I think, yeah, that's another board that doesn't go away. You know, the picture of it. I have it right here. It's such a beautiful style. I really liked a more recent game. Scythe. I think that's how you say it in English. Scythe. There's something going on there. That's a board game artwork that I really admire.
The new heavy cardboard and Detroit Bankruptcy expansion for Age of Steam is now available. Chad Deshawn's innovative Detroit Bankruptcy map captures the economic stress of the mid-2000s, which was felt especially hard in Detroit. Players try to stay alive for as long as they can, but there'll be bankruptcies, and the last player standing is all that matters. The Heavy Cardboard map was first released in 2015 to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the Heavy Cardboard podcast. The city and town names used on this map are prominent board games. Designed by Kevin McCurdy, this map has plenty of space for route building and goods availability. Both of these maps are now available as a double-sided game board with all new art and graphic design by Ian O'Toole. Find this map expansion along with many more on our website, and the link below will bring you directly to the product page. Earlier in this vlog, I gave you a quick overview of Baseball Highlights, the dice game, which launched on Kickstarter today, and you can win your very own copy. One Kickstarter pledge will be given away, and to enter, you simply need to subscribe and leave a comment below on this video telling us what your favorite Mike Fitzgerald game is. Now, you have 1 week from when this video is launched to enter. Now, I hope you enjoyed this week's Eagle-Gryphon Games vlog, and you can click the playlist link below to see all the past vlogs, and we'll see you next week.